On?
Oh, hello. No, hold on. Now we did it.
Hello. How we doing?
Hello. Welcome. It's the Bead Places weekly live party. Ooh, ooh.
Ooh, ooh. We're a little bit slap happy right now. We've had a long day.
We have had a long day.
Very exciting day.
We both got up way too early.
7 a.m.
Oh,
Who knew that existed?
what's that?
Yeah.
Let us know if you can hear us okay. Let us know if we set this up right. We left for dinner a little later than usual, and the restaurant went a little slower than usual, so we just got here.
We had Thai food. It was so good.
So we got ready in a hurry for the stream. So
fun project, though. We're going to do a very fun project.
Yes. So before we get started, if you wouldn't mind taking this opportunity to like the video if you're watching on YouTube, heart it if you're watching on Facebook, and share it with all of your beady friends. We would appreciate it. I'm Abby.
I'm Becky.
And we are a part of the Bead Place. We are a brick and mortar and online retailer and wholesaler. And our store is in the St. Louis area. So if you're anywhere around the St. Louis area, come say hi.
Come see us, yeah. And guess what?
What?
We have a yarn store inside of our bead store.
Oh my gosh, really?
We do.
We do.
In fact, tonight we're going to use yarn and beads together.
We are. And it's going to be a ton of fun. And you guys are going to love it.
Yeah.
So, you guys want to see what we're making? We'll wait for somebody to say yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes!
Yes! Becky said yes. We are making scrappy cuffs. Aren't they cute? You're like, what's a scrappy cuff?
What's a scrappy cuff, Abby?
Well, let me tell you. Let me open up my little case here.
I haven't made one of these in, at least 7 or 8 years. So I'm going to be learning along with you tonight.
So, a scrappy cuff is an adorable, colorful cuff made out of 2 different kinds of wire, some scrap yarn, and some sparkly beads. So the base wire that we're going to be using is a half-hour temperament German wire. So we are using 16 gauge. If you have a kind of a harder, thicker wire, you can use that. We prefer 16 gauge. Oh, thank you. The other wire sizes that we're going to need, or the other wire size that we're going to need in a couple different colors, is 26 gauge. Now, the 26 gauge that we're going to need is a craft wire. So that's going to be like the copper core wires that come on the small spools typically. So that's what we're going to need. And we like using a couple different colors just to add variety.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need between 10 to 20-ish beads. We like 4mm bicones because they're super cute and sparkly. And then you are also going to need some decorative fiber. We like using about 3 yards, but that's really going to kind of be dependent on what kind of fiber or yarn or ribbon or cord you use.
Yeah.
So the cord or the fiber or the yarn is what makes up the kind
part.
Of like background. Let me make sure I'm showing you properly this way. So like the blue on the bottom one, the kind of slate color on the top one, or
rainbow colored
under base rainbow multicolor on this one. And then you can add color on top with your colorful wire and with your colorful beads. So this is just a parade of color all the way around, and we love it. So we have a couple of things to show you that will make your life easier if you have not yet been addicted to yarn. We have a product called Fiber Hanks. Would you be so kind as to just show the folks on the camera up there some of those fun colors?
Look at these.
Well, I link our Fiber Hanks in chat. So Fiber Hanks are nice because if you don't have a ton of scrap yarn hanging around, or if you don't have access to a fine yarn store near you, you can get 10 different 2-yard lengths of super high quality fibers that we've color coordinated for you.
how
And
fun
they're
that is.
awesome.
Yeah, look how fun that is.
So I just linked those in chat. They're great for Kinahimo. They're great for projects like this. They're great for funky, like faux feather earrings. And then if you click the link that we've added to the chat, you can see another style of necklace that we've created. That's just basically fiber hanks braided with chain, which is really fun. So
Yeah.
if you don't have yarn,
They're so fun.
consider the fiber hank because they are awesome. So we've just linked those in chat.
It's a short-term commitment until you get addicted to yarn, and then
Right.
you'll buy all the yarns, like I did.
Yep, and then you can just use whatever scrap yarn you have laying around.
Yeah, we like novelty yarns.
Mm-hmm.
We call it the candy department, the candy yarns.
Yeah. Can you turn? I forgot to turn the hand cam light on. Can you turn the hand cam light on for me before we switch over? We're just looking a little.
There we go.
All right. So
Ziola.
Becky has a handful of 4mm diamond crystals, and we're going to give you a closer look at the project that we're making because we're going to have you guys choose the colors for us. We have some options to show you. So Becky's going to show you a couple of the bracelets, and we'll show you a couple yarn colors, and we'll let you guys vote. Does that sound fun? You say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing out some options for the yarn. We'll pick the base first.
So we have this champagne color. We have.
Oh no, we'll pick the yarn first.
Oh, we'll pick the yarn first, and then we can vote
and then
on
we'll
the
narrow
beads.
down
Yeah. Even my nails are sparkly today.
So we'll choose between those 5. How about? So we have the purple turquoise that Becky just showed.
Yeah.
We have the rainbow metallic, which you saw the kind of rainbowy bracelet. We have a beautiful berry color, like cranberry. We have golden neutrals, and then we have blue and green. So what colors would you guys like us to demonstrate with tonight?
I want to bring this up just a little bit for a second.
Yeah, totally. That way everybody
so we can see
everything.
all the yarns in one shot. Here
Good
we go.
idea.
There we go. So purple and blue, gold, blue green, dark rainbow, red.
Yes. And if you guys are like, wow, that yarn is so cool because it looks like beads, I'm going to link our ladder yarn in chat for you as well.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Isn't that cool? You can do so much with it.
Very cool.
I like to hold it along with like a regular yarn when I'm knitting, just to give it an extra little pop. Maybe even just like one stripe of something and, something fun like this. Look at all the texture in this one.
So
towards the end.
You guys, we have a couple other tutorials on our YouTube channel that feature this ladder yarn. You guys might have seen ladder yarn necklaces that are just basically like strands of ladder yarn knotted together or like chain stitched together because it truly looks like beautiful, intricate bead work when you work with it. So we love it, and we've linked it below for you. So we have a vote for purple, we have rainbow or blue-green, we have blue, we have red, we have the rainbow. Robin says, I just found a crochet piece I did years ago that actually felted. I've been looking for something to make with it. Susie B says, I missed it. Is it sold by the yard? The ladder yarn is sold by the spool. So you would get a whole spool of something like this. The fiber hanks are sold in collections. It's 10 different 2-yard lengths of like different funky novelty luxury fibers and ribbons.
And all these colorways are on our website too.
Yes.
Beadplace.net.
Yes. Robin says, ooh, love the ladder yarn.
Yeah, look at this one.
Yeah. So speaking of felting projects, Robin, did you know that you can use carry-along threads like ladder yarn in with your wool fibers that you plan to felt? And the little pops of the ladder puffs of color kind of stick out of the felt when you felt it. And it looks like you've done like surface
work
decoration on it.
I'm gonna try that.
They are pretty cool. Okay, so it looks like rainbow is our top vote.
Okay.
So we good with that, Becky?
Yeah.
Let's
I dig it. That's what it looks like.
Power to the people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Colors are awesome. I like all the colorful yarns.
All the colors. We could even blue green was the second best or the second highest voted color. So what we could do is we could do both.
What?
Do you want to do both?
Yeah.
That would be super fun. Okay. Did you grab? Oh, you did. I was gonna say, did you grab the scissors?
I did.
You did.
I did.
So we could either do 1.5 yards of one and 1.5 yards of the other, or we could do 2 yards of one and 1 yard of the other. Becky, I'll let you decide that because you're going to be the one making it.
Oh, I thought you meant we were going to make one bracelet out of this and one bracelet out of that.
No.
Oh.
Let's combine them together. That would
Okay.
be super fun.
Well, this has all the colors on it, including these colors.
Mm-hmm. So you want to do more of one or half and half?
Yeah, let's do half and half.
Half and half? Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to have you do is we are going to cut 1.5 yards of blue and 1.5 yards of green.
First,
I'm sorry, 1.5 yards of rainbow.
Rainbow. And the blue-green.
Yes.
Fun.
Coral says, is the purple sold by the skein? Yeah, but we don't have it on the website. So,
No.
Coral, if you would want to message us either on Facebook or through our website, through the contact us, or through chat on the site, you can ask about that, and one of our wonderful staff members will respond to you when we open the store again tomorrow to get you information on that yarn.
Yeah, just say the purple yarn in the live stream. We'll know what you're talking about.
We'll know, and
We'll be
even
here
leave
tomorrow.
it out on the front counter so that we know for sure.
Yeah. This is like the boho kind of a look. It's just kind of floppy and casual. I love it.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, so let's measure out 1.5 yards of the blue green and 1.5 yards of the rainbow.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to cut it? And then while I'm getting it cut, do you want to give them crystal options?
Sure.
That's a kind of a
That's a
quicker
plan.
quicker way to get it done. More efficient.
So cool. So with the blue, green, and the rainbow, almost any of these colors would work. So let's vote on what crystal color. Let's
bring it in a little bit
yeah,
for a tighter shot. I
bring
learned
it down. There we
that
go.
phrase today. You guys want to know why I learned that phrase today? Should we tell them?
Sure.
We were featured on Great Day St. Louis.
We were filmed today.
We were filmed today.
Yeah, and they're going to feature us later this month. Yeah, we'll make sure to put links to that in our Facebook group when that happens.
Yeah.
Later this month. But yeah, they came and had a small television crew and interviewed us and looked around the shop, and it was a good time.
It was so much fun. We are so grateful for the opportunity.
I was really impressed with how well the on-screen person and the camera person just totally worked together and just like so efficiently. I was really impressed with them.
Yeah, they're very, very nice people.
Very nice people too. Yeah.
And you can tell they really cared about telling our story rather than what they thought would work well. It was like, what do we want?
Yeah. I really trusted them to they're going to tell a good story about us. I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they featured Parker, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Because we were joking about what tasks we all do here at the shop, and Parker was there, and it was like, well, Parker's job is the most important of all, which is just to pick up the beads from the floor. So they were like, let's do a shot of that. So
we threw some beads on the floor and she picked them up.
It was fake.
Yeah, she's like, what? You just want me to pick up those beads? Okay.
It was so cute.
She did so good though.
And they were so sweet with her.
Yeah.
And she did such a good job following the cues. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
She'll probably get more screen time than I will. She did really well.
We wish Becca could have been here this morning.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to make it, but it was me and Becky and Jenny and Parker.
You might remember Jenny from the Chicken Hoop Project.
Yeah. Yep.
About a month ago or so.
So Robin says the orange looks great with the teal. So let's choose this
Yeah.
kind of corally color as
Okay.
one of them. I think that would be neat.
Okay, so we'll use this one.
Yeah.
And let's pick like 2 more colors. I like 3s.
Anybody have any favorites for colors?
Light purple, dark purple, this like kind of pinky opaly color. This is heliotrope. It's like a shiny
I vote for this one.
crystal. Yeah, that's cool.
Can I
Here's
vote?
Crystal AB. You can vote.
Okay.
Here's like the champagne color, olivine. Yeah. So yeah, we'll use this orange color. And I think that would look really cool. It's like a Jet AB times 2. Is that what it is? I think it's Jet AB times 2. It's like a bluey greeny, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, so these 2 and 1 more. What are people saying in chat?
So, Alex's sister. Hi.
Hi, Alex's sister.
So Tina says that green is beautiful. I agree.
Yeah.
That green is beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I think for me it's between like the green and this white. But
Yeah, guys, let's use 4. Let's use 4 different colors.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Okay.
Let's get it wild. So Robin says the center 3. Yep, I agree. I love
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the purple or the crystal or what are we feeling?
Let's do these 3, and then if we have space to pepper some of those in, let's
What is
do
chat
that.
saying?
Lilac. Oh, I'm so sorry. Earthquake.
We're talking about this lilac? Or that one?
There's 3 purples, so it's hard to.
Well, dark purple I don't think is lilac.
I think this looks more
I
like
think this is
lilac.
what lilac you're talking about.
I think so too. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Susie says, all are fun colors. Kim says, are these 2mm fire polish? Sorry, I'm late. These are 4mm bicones. They are
Crystals.
Austrian crystals. But
Oh,
you
that's
can
fun.
use whatever beads you want. So no worries. If you want to use your 2mm fire polish, Kim, go for it. And Kim, I owe you an apology. I have to message you your code. I realized that I never got back to you on that. So just know I have not forgotten. So
You gonna go with this little mix here?
Yeah,
Cool.
I like that.
Cool.
Do we want to put that one in there too?
Maybe a few for an extra
Let's
bling.
really bling it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Why not?
So what we're gonna do next is, now that we've had all the fun of picking all the colors, what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure our wrist, and we're gonna add a 1/2 inch.
Okay.
So there's a tape measure for you.
Sorry, I'm off screen.
You're good.
Got like, okay. Yep, I have a 7-inch wrist.
Okay, so let's cut 7.5 inches of this 16 gauge wire. And what Becky's gonna do is she's gonna use a memory wire cutter to cut this wire. And that is kind of a little like hack that I am gonna share with you guys. If you are using, or if you're cutting thick gauge wire, I really highly recommend, rather than a side cutter, use your memory wire cutter, because it's gonna like snap or slice through the wire rather than mashing through the wire. So those controlled, like hardened steel blades essentially just basically force the wire to be flush.
So you said wrist size plus 1/2 inch.
Yes. So you're
Okay.
gonna cut 7.5. So I just linked the memory wire cutter for you guys in chat. All right.
I did it.
You did it. You did
I
it.
did it. So this is a 16 gauge wire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay.
now what I'm going to have you do, Becky, is you're going to, let's move the crystals out of the way so they can see clearly this
Yeah.
next step.
Do, 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 do.
Thank you.
Okie dokie.
So you're going to use your thumbs and your fingers, and you're going to just gently kind of bend the wire into like a parentheses. Don't bend it all the way.
Not a
into
bracelet
cuff
shape yet?
Nope,
Okay.
not yet. Just a parentheses. And the
Okay.
reason why we're not bending it all the way into a bracelet shape yet is because it'll be easier for you to finish the ends off when it's just a parentheses rather than a total C cuff. So next, what Becky's going to do is she's going to take her round nose pliers and she's going to curl the ends of the cuff in on themselves to get a tight loop. And so, do you want to grab the samples that are over there?
I want everybody to marvel at my smiley
Oh,
face.
it's a cute smiley face. Hearts in chat for the little face that Becky just made. That's darling.
Okay, what am I going to do?
He's going to grab the samples to show the folks what we're talking about here. So what we're doing is we're creating this little comfortable curve here where it looks like the wire is doubled through the whole bracelet. It's just the end that's bent over on itself. It's not actually doubled through the whole bracelet. But what we're going to do to make it so that it doesn't slice your arm when you try to put the bracelet on is we're going to get rid of those tail ends of the wire by just curling them back into a loop.
No slicing arms, please.
No slicing arms. Do you want to show them on this one? It might be a little bit easier to see. I didn't realize we had kind of covered that up. So you see how we've just curled the wire back on itself. So we're going to do that with our round nose pliers, but please keep in mind, guys, when you're using your round nose pliers to make little curls like this, if you squeeze too hard, you're going to dent the wire. So make sure that where you're squeezing is kind of like at the very end and just curl it over. So Becky's going to curl inward so that that tail end ends up on the inside. And you can make big loops if that's easier. You can make small loops if that's easier. And a lot of times what I'll do after I make the loop is I'll take my chain nose pliers in and I'll use that to kind of close it. So if your loop looks a little too big, you can kind of back out of the loop a little bit and then tighten it with the chain nose pliers.
Is that good or you want it smaller?
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Do you want to do the other one?
Sure.
And then we'll see if they're the same size. A lot of times you can mark your chain or your round nose pliers to get exactly the right size.
I'm just kind of eyeballing it somewhere in the middle of because they're tapered. So if you do it up here, you're going to get a bigger loop and down there a smaller loop.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of eyeballing it in the middle.
Yeah.
And little hack, I used to be a hairstylist, so I'm pretty good at just like eyeballing where stuff is.
Yeah.
Look at that.
If they look exactly the same, that's great. If they didn't, if you weren't a hairstylist in a previous life like Becky, you could adjust your loops using the chain nose pliers.
So it's a little bit crooked, but I'm happy with the size.
Yeah. So Pamela is asking, would all wrist sizes cut 7.5 inches? No. So what you're going to do is you're going to measure your wrist, and then you're going to use, or you're going to add a 1/2 inch to that. And in theory, depending on how much wire you've eaten up with your loops, and then depending on how you like your cuffs to fit, and 1/2 inch added to that should give you enough to have an open back cuff once all is said and done.
Yeah. My wrist is 7 inches. We cut 7.5.
Yeah.
So that half, I guess, counts for these loops.
You got it. Yeah.
Nice.
And then, of course, the bracelet sits a little bit more like out from your wrist because of the wire, and also because you don't want it like squeezing your wrist. So having an open space in the back is typically what's done for cuffs like this, just to make them easy to get on and off without bending too much.
It's secure though. I mean, wiggling and
wiggle.
Yeah.
All right. So now what you're going to do is leave it a parenthesis.
Okay.
You're going to leave it just slightly curved. We're not going to close it all the way in. We're going to work with it kind of straight.
Well, now it's a sleepy face.
Oh, yeah. She's blinking, and the crystals look like eyelashes, don't they?
She's blinking. Yeah. Told you we're slap happy.
We are going to start by tying our chosen fiber onto the end of the cuff, but leave about 1 inch of tail end.
Okay, so I'm just wrapping this around and just knotting it?
Yeah, just knot it right on there.
Okay.
Right towards the end, but leave about 1 inch because that inch is going to be our handle.
Okay, well that's about 1.5 inches, but I think that'll work.
That's fine, yeah. Robin is sharing a tip with us. She says you can use pinch bill pliers too with loops for memory wire to get them good and tight. That's a great idea. I'm going to spotlight that on the screen for other people.
So am I spiraling or what am I doing?
Yeah, so you're going to hold the handle in your hand.
The tail?
Yep.
Okay.
And you're going to start to just wrap around. And that's why it's nice to leave it nice and straight or semi-straight for now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna probably recommend that you bring the camera up a little bit so it'll be easier for you to wrap it all the way around. So you're gonna,
Zoop.
yay! You're gonna just kind of wrap, 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 wrap.
Okay. Oh yeah, now I know why you told me to put the camera up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wrapping and going down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can
Just haphazardly or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
you
I'm
can
gonna scrunch.
haphazard and scrunch to get some bulk and texture, or you can do it really smooth and uniform if that's your vibe.
I like it all messy.
Yeah, you can do bracelets like this with whatever style you want. If you have wider ribbon, you can just do one layer around. If you have textured cord, you can be intentional with where you're placing any of the textured areas.
I think I'm gonna be intentional about the rainbow going over this.
That'll be cool.
But this will just be whatever.
Scrunched.
Yeah, just whatever.
Very cool.
I think about halfway through my yard and a half.
Don't you think it would be difficult to wrap the wire around if it was already formed in a C shape?
Yeah, I like this a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, I see why you said hang on to the tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then if you left it straight, it would be a little trickier to hold on to, because that curve makes it easier to hold on to. But then B, it would be way trickier to make sure those loops that you're making are going in the right direction. They would be a little bit angled potentially if you're not paying attention. So there are a couple of tips and tricks that we're throwing at you for why we do it in a weird way. But I think that a lot of this is intuitive. So if you want to make one of these and you just want to go by memory and you don't want to use these extra little tips, there is no problem at all with doing it your own way. That's what's so fun about projects like this.
So if I wanted to use just one color, I would take 3 yards total of fiber.
Yeah.
Because we did a yard and a half and a yard and a half of 2.
Now look and see how you're getting to the end of your fiber here.
Yeah.
So what I would do if I were you is start to unscrunch some of this and try to make it to the end.
Kind of spread it out.
Yeah, and then you can kind of like tighten by kind of twisting your fingers around it, or you can do whatever you want, but that's what I would do.
Yeah.
So Sandy says, I love the ribbon you're using. It is
Me
called ladder yarn.
Ladder yarn.
And we're going to link that in chat for you.
So should I wrap it around until I have like an inch left and tie it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
If I let go of my left hand on the tail, is it gonna?
It might.
Okay. So is there a secret of not letting go of the left tail but tying the right tail?
I mean you can let go of it to like tie it. I just mean like don't take it with you on a jog.
No.
Until you've finished it.
Yes.
So guys, if you are not splitting colors like what we're doing, what I would have told you to do if I would have remembered at the beginning is to tuck your tail in when you start to wrap around. You can just include that tail in the tuck. But we are going to take care of that on our next pass around with the yarn. And then as she is tying on and
tie on just like before?
Yep, tie on just like before. But this time you're going to tuck those tails in.
Okay.
And if they stick out a little bit, we're just going to trim them down later, or the wire is going to take care of it.
You know, it'd be cute if it was hanging.
It would be cute if it was hanging.
Whatever.
Totally.
Okay.
All right. So go for it.
Oh, we're just putting the tails in.
Yeah,
okay.
tuck those tails. If you need to do a couple wraps first before you tuck the tails, that's fine. Because the wire is really going to do a good job of tucking the tails.
Sorry. Yeah.
And what I like to do is I work all the way down and come all the way back and work all the way down and come all the way back just to get some variation in the placement.
Yeah.
And,
I'll do that.
And the tension and the wraps. But each different kind of technique that you use when you're wrapping is going to give you a completely different look. So if you're not wrapping as tight, you're going to see more of those little beaded looking ladder rungs.
Like
if you're
that there.
wrapping it tighter, it's going to look more kind of scrunchy bunchy.
You can see those there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did just what Abby said. I went down and I'm just going to go back kind of loosely and whatever. Oh, those tails didn't get tied in.
No biggie.
So
They probably just got pulled up.
Yeah.
When you went around.
We'll do it right now.
Yeah, and they might find their way out again. No big deal. The wire is really going to take care of that for you.
I'm glad we picked 2 colors. This is fun.
It is fun. And then you're going to knot the last tail off, and you won't be able to tuck that tail necessarily too easily. So we're just going to rely on the wire.
Do I want to end at an end?
It doesn't matter.
It's okay
I
if I end in the middle?
personally like to add it or like to end it at the end.
Okay.
But it's not entirely necessary.
Okay. Well, this guy's kind of hanging out, so I'm going to tie this end to this end.
That's a great idea, Becky.
And then I'll cover that with wire.
Great. Clever.
Do, 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 do.
Hearts in chat for how smart Becky is, even though she's exhausted.
I'm good at thinking up little stuff on the spot.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Guys, there's over 30 of you hanging out with us live, and I would really appreciate it if you would take a second to hit either the thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube or the heart button if you're watching on Facebook, because that tells the platform that our content is valuable to you, and then you'll be more likely to be recommended our content or content like ours in the future.
Pretty.
Robin says, it's amazing how often we are tucking tails. I know. I know, but this way's a good way, right?
I kind of like the tails hanging out.
They are super cute. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we are going to figure out what wires we're going to use. Ooh. Traditionally, I have always chosen 3 wire colors. But we can do whatever we want, you know, because we're adults. We can make our own decisions, right?
Well, I'm going to use this purple for sure, but
totally.
What else should I use? We have a bronze, or this is more of a copper.
More like that. That way we know for sure we're using that.
It's dark purple, like an amethyst color.
I love the orange.
Orange, white, kind of a midnight slate kind of graphite color. Off-white, midnight navy, kind of a hematite color, brass, and or bronze, and a little bit of silver.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have enough of the silver.
Let's bring the crystals into the equation again, just so we can see what colors we've chosen. Guys, let us know in chat if you have a preference for the colors.
For the wire.
Hi, Deborah. Pamela says white. White would be fun. Now, are we talking about the bright white or the cream? Either would be great.
There we go.
Orange is beautiful, or the bronze. Yeah. Let's go ahead and pull that orange out, and let's pull the white out as soon as we hear it. Pamela was thinking white, or like the bright white or the cream. And we can kind of narrow down our choices. I'm gonna move you up. Actually, I don't know, because our bracelet's not in it. Let's lay the bracelet here.
Yeah. White or off-white?
Pamela says bright.
Bright.
Awesome. We like these 3 colors.
Good choice.
They're almost Halloween-y.
Yeah. Cool.
Very fun. Very fitting.
Halloween is going to be here before we know it. Okie dokie. Normally, I don't like orange too much, but I'm digging this.
It's so good.
I'm digging it.
All right, so we're going to pick our dominant color. And Becky, I'm going to let you pick the dominant color.
What do you think I'm going to pick?
I think you're going to pick purple.
Duh.
Okay. So we're going to save purple for last.
Okay.
All right. So in my opinion, the white is a very bold color choice.
Yeah.
That
contrast.
Would kind of create like a dominant color.
High contrast to what we're doing.
Yeah. So in order to kind of make balance in our color choices, I think we should choose white first. because
Okay.
white is going to, or whatever color we show first is going to show slightly less than the next color.
Because it's going to be on the bottom and the other colors are going to cover
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
How much am I
so
cutting?
you're going to cut a yard of this. Or how about I
Okay.
cut a yard for you? Does that
Okay.
sound okay?
Yep.
All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to save the beads for our last row.
Oh.
So the beads can move out of the way for now. Or if you feel like
Okay.
you can work around the beads, that's fine. But they can move out of the way for now if that's more comfortable for you.
Just going to dump out a few
Okay.
of each color to use.
Smart.
Because I'm clumsy and I'm going to spill them if they're all here. So. And we're only going to need a few of each color. So.
Right. So guys, I'm just using a flush cutter to cut this wire for Becky. Any of your like kind of flush cut wire cutters are going to work. And this was 1 1-yard length. So in total, we'll have 3 1-yard lengths, each a different color.
You can do one color if you wanted to, but we're doing 3 colors.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to leave these tails hanging out.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to anchor on at the very end. And what you're going to do to anchor on is just you're going to start to spiral kind of tight. And you can either spiral with your tail end, or you can use that tail end as a handle to spiral tight with your long end, whatever you're comfortable doing.
Okay. Yeah. So my tail, I'm just kind of putting it around towards me here.
Awesome.
And then I'm going to take the rest and just kind of do this a little bit.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to keep my tails out because I want them out.
So you want to make sure that your first couple wraps with that wire are pretty tight because that's what anchors it on.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to spend too much time at all really building up bulk at the end there because we're going to have bulk from the other wires. So now that you're anchored on, you're just going to kind of, I don't want to say loosely because you want the wire to be tight to the cuff, but loosely meaning not a lot of wraps close to each other.
Decoratively.
So you want to move the wire to the other end of the bracelet by spiraling it around back and forth. And I do recommend working kind of in larger spirals like this. So she's wrapping it tight to the cuff, but there's space between those coils. And she's just going to work back and forth. And then in order to create visual balance, you don't need to for the strength of design. Oh, hold on. You don't need to for the strength of design, but for the visual balance of the design. I'm going to have you go ahead and duplicate some wraps like this over on that side, just so that the ends look even.
So they look the same. Very
Exactly.
good. Very good.
Yeah. So Sandy says, I'm loving your presentation so much, ladies. It's right up my alley. Well, thank you so much, Sandy. We appreciate that.
Now they're similar. And I just like to work left to right. So I'm going to flip it and do this.
Yeah, go for it.
Flip it and reverse it.
Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. It's your flipping if and when yet.
Yes. I think she's on tour now.
Kathy says, hello, I'm very late. We'll watch the replay to catch the beginning. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out.
Making little X's. You see the X's in there?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sandy says, gorgeous shiny beads. They
Yes.
are pretty. All right. So what you're going to want to do is kind of see if you can finish off at one end or another.
Okay.
But don't worry about building bulk there. We're just
Okay.
wanting to get to a point where we can anchor off.
Okay. So I'm going to go back one more time. So I did left, right, left. So this is my third pass
Okay.
with this color. And
Yep.
I'm going to have to
You gotta change
do it
your
a
tension.
little.
And
Yeah.
guess what?
Here we go.
you don't have to use all that wire. So if you're not
Okay.
able to get to the other end and you don't like the kind of like placement,
Here we go.
just cut it off at the step before.
Cool.
Totally okay.
We did it.
We did it. All right. So
There
now
we
we're going to
go.
do a yard of the next color. So
I like
Becky
the
wants,
X's. That's fun.
it is fun. Becky wants purple to be her most dominant color. So next we're going to choose orange. And I'm going to cut a yard of that for you. And
Okay.
Becky, in the meantime, would you give the folks at home a close-up look at those spirals that you've created and tell them what we've just done? Just to
So
walk them back through it.
I anchored on here and I left my tails out on purpose because I want them to flap and blow in the wind. You could tuck them in though, but I just like them out there because it's cute. So I anchored on there and wrapped around tightly several times, added some bulk. And then I spiraled around kind of firmly, but decoratively this way.
Bring it around town.
Yeah, and then I anchored it on here just so that this end matches that end somewhat. And then you could just go back, but I like to work from left to right, so I flipped it. And then I just spiraled it back around this way, and that creates the X's. And then there was enough left for me to do one more pass. So I did it firmly, but decoratively, and went back over here and secured it by just wrapping it around tightly. And I just kind of did this a couple times with my hands just to make sure it's tucked in. And I'm sure the other wires that we're going to use will secure that also.
I love that.
So yeah, it looks good.
I love how springy and fun and bold the white wire.
Yeah.
It just kind of wakes those colors up.
You see the X's there.
And it's great contrast with the black of the leopard thread.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Awesome. So you're going to just do that same exact thing with the orange now.
Okie dokie.
So for those of you that are just joining in, what Becky's going to do is the exact same thing she just did before. So if you missed it before, you can see it.
So about 3/4 inches of tail. I'm just bringing it back under this way. Just kind of anchor that on there. And then I'm going to do a few passes just right here at the end. I'm going to hold my tails out of the way because I want them to stick out. You can tuck them under if you want to. And I'm just going to kind of go around this 3, 4, 5 times. Just right here to anchor this on. Okay. Now I like to work left to right, so I'm going to flip it. And then I am going to decoratively, but tightly, just kind of wrap it around and have fun. You spin me right round, baby, right round.
So guys,
like a wire, baby, right round, round, round.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
So guys, if this kind of project looks intriguing, but you're not sure if you want to jump all the way into fiber arts, I just linked in chat the kit that we have available for this project. We have a kit that comes with everything that you need to create it. And we've got some fun color options for you to choose also. So we linked that in chat for you. But if you're like, hey, I'm ready to do this full time, this is what I do now. This is how I live my life. We have some fiber hanks, which is just a collection of fabulous fiber. And they are custom curated bundles, essentially, of high-end yarns and ribbons. And so we've kind of done some color curation for you. So we're linking that in chat right now. And then if you're in love with this ladder yarn that we're using right now, there you go.
Yeah, I just have too much, so I'm going to cut off about an inch at the end here.
There you go. If you're in love with the ladder yarn that we're using right now, I'm linking the ladder yarn selections for you in chat.
The ladder yarn is what we used on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's the fiber hanks.
Yeah, they are super
Aren't they
fun.
cool?
Also. They come in lots of great colors. And then, so just to recap, the wire that we're using for the base of the cuff is our German wire that we have at beadplace.net. You'll see that as 16 gauge German wire. So you can find that on our website, and I will get the link for you. And then the size of the decorative wrapping wire that we are using is
26
26
gauge.
gauge. Yeah.
It's pretty thin.
It is pretty thin. So I'm linking the German wire in chat for you now. That's the base of the cuff.
That's what you see sticking out over there.
Yes. That's the durability.
Yeah.
The sturdiness.
It's the core.
The core. Okay, so here now we are at our dominant color.
Yay.
We are still going to use a 1 yard length of our dominant color. But this time we have to be a little bit more intentional with the placement of our wire because
we're going to put beads on it.
Exactly. So
that's the fun part.
What we can do is choose from a couple of strategies. We can either place those crystals all in one wrap as we go along. That can be either the first wrap, or you can lay down a base layer to anchor your wire on. Or you can just string them on willy-nilly, but just make sure they all land on the top of the
Yeah.
cuff.
I think that's a good idea to make one pass completely just the wire. And then when I go back, I'll put the beads on. And then I'll have enough to make one more pass without beads.
Awesome.
Is that a plan?
That sounds great. I
Awesome.
like that.
Cool.
So again, Becky has chosen the purple as her dominant color, and she's doing that last because that's the wire that shows up the most. Annie is here. Hi, Annie. Annie says you do the coolest projects. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
We try. We just do what we like.
We have a lot of fun here at the Bead Place.
We do.
I always tell people, it's not work. It's play. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy going to my job.
Well, good.
Yeah, and I love that I can say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So are you going to do beads in order?
Well, maybe. Let me just make one pass here, kind of loosely. Oh, earthquake, sorry. I'm just going to make one pass loosely, just to, well, not loosely, but the loop's far away from each other.
Yeah.
Just to anchor this on here nice and good.
Nice and good.
Yeah. Nice
Kathy
and good.
Says, no surprises, Becky chose purple.
Yeah, Kathy
That's
knows
for
me.
sure.
Is that Kathy Hornberger?
Yes, it is.
She knows me.
She knows.
Yeah.
Guys, what's the weather like where you're from? Where's everybody watching from?
It's hot and humid here. Okay, so am I
It's
pre-stringing
cooler now.
all of them, or am I putting on one at a time?
I like to do one at a time
So you can place it nicely?
so that I can
Yeah.
place it nicely.
Okay, I'm going to put one
And
of
that
these.
way my wire is less likely to get kinked.
Yeah.
Because we're doing loose wraps for this project, it's a little bit more important for us to make sure the wire doesn't get gnarly kinks because it's harder to hide those kinks.
Gnarly
on projects
kinks.
Like this.
Okay, so I wrapped it around, and I'm
There you
making
go.
sure the bead is on top.
Exactly. So
I'm going to hold it with my thumb.
that's what I was just going to say. Just make sure to let our friends know that you are holding that bead with your thumb. And that's another reason why we had that gentle parentheses curve in this bracelet, because we want to make sure that we are actually placing those beads at the top.
Yeah. You can kind of move it around too. And then after I placed it, I just wrapped my wire around 3 times right here. Just zoop, zoop, zoop.
You know what? You
just-
don't even have to do that.
Yeah, I was just going to say I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have had to, but just because I'm that way.
Yeah, and it's at the end too, so that's not a bad idea at all.
So let's do a green one. I picked out this one because Abby loves this color.
Yeah. Sandy says, New Zealand, winter here.
Ooh, New Zealand.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, so we're in St. Louis, and it was ridiculously hot the last couple of days, but today we had a little cool snap. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's like you can be outside without feeling like you're gonna like burn up.
Yeah. We went to the butterfly house in St. Louis today, and it was humid and hot in the butterfly house, and we went outside, and didn't expect it to be humid in there, but I guess so, because butterflies like the heat.
Yeah.
So I'm placing my beads pretty close together. Should I space them out more, Abby?
I would space them out more because you want
Okay.
that beautiful wire work and your beautiful ribbon to show.
Yeah.
But it's your project, so that's kind of what's so cool about projects like this is that you can make it your own. So if you really love that bling, you can really bling it up, or you can space them apart. Totally up to you.
Okay. Well, I can
So-
always add more later, too.
Yeah, totally. Rochelle says, I'm not far from you, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
Oh, yeah, it's not far at all.
Yeah.
That's not far at all.
Kim says, well, we're now experiencing Tropical Storm Debbie, lots of wind and
Oh,
rain.
yeah.
on
I've
the
got friends
coast.
out there. I have friends in South Carolina,
Goodness.
Durham, or is that North Carolina? Durham, something
Stay
Carolina.
safe, Kim.
Yeah, yeah. Trish and Debbie, are you watching? They're the ones in the
We
way of
did.
the storm.
We did have a Trish here earlier, and we did have a Debbie here earlier, but I don't know if they
Okay.
are your Trish and Debbie.
Yeah, Trish Coogan. So yeah, they texted me
think
today.
so.
Yeah, Trish and Debbie texted me today. Said we're just waiting for the storm to come. I said, oh, be safe. Let me know if you're okay later.
Goodness.
Yeah. So New Zealand, I have a friend in New Zealand too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Froyle Davies. Do you know her? No.
Small town.
I know it's a big country. I know. But
Oh, my goodness. Talk about small world. I had students in a class last night
oh boy.
from I think from about 2 hours away. And turns out they're family of an ex of mine. And I just like, what a weird coincidence.
It was a coincidence, yeah.
So it is a small world.
Yeah.
Kim says Durham, North Carolina is about 2 hours from us in Wilmington.
Okay. Yeah. So be safe out there.
Yeah.
Let's see what I think I'm trying to go in order. So, well, not order of how they're laying on the table, but I did this color after that color. So
This is so cute.
I'm kind of putting them like every half inch or so.
When you get a chance, and I was looking at comments, so you might have already done this, but give us a close up.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, of what we're doing so far. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And guys, we don't want like death grip tightness on this. We want a little bit of movement and play, but not so much movement and play that it would snag on anything. You don't want to be able to hook anything between the wire and the core, but we don't want it so tight that those crystals are going to crack when you wear it. So a little bit of movement is a-okay.
Yeah. Not a lot though, because my cats love me.
Yeah.
Sometimes they love me until I bleed.
Oh, yeah. And cats like shiny things.
Yeah, they do. See, purple, this one. Yeah, I could have added a lot more beads. There's only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 so far, and I'll probably do one more.
Well, also, you have a small to average size wrist, so
yeah,
if you get the kit, there's a few extra beads in there to be able to fit all different wrist sizes.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to end on this color because I started with that color. Oh, and there's a tail. I'm going to tuck this tail in. Tuck the tail.
Guys, there has been a bear traveling through our area, a black bear. And you're like, well, that's not unusual. There's bears in this country. Well, not around us. There aren't until a couple days ago.
Yeah, not around us. We have coyotes and raccoons.
Mm-hmm. And there
maybe
are
a hyena.
Mountain lions and bobcats out by me. Probably not out this way, but out by me, we've got mountain lions and bobcats. We don't see them a lot, but
she lives a little bit out of the city.
I have seen both a mountain lion and a bobcat in my neighborhood.
Look
not
at
recently,
that. Yeah, so there's like 2 of each color and 3 of the one on the end. Yeah.
Awesome.
So now we gonna bend it?
Yes. So here is the most important thing. That if you take away anything from this, take this away from tonight's stream.
Take it away.
Bend this carefully, slowly, and with intention. So find the middle of your bracelet, and you are going to gently start to shape the curve. If you are not gentle and careful, you could pop those crystals.
Oh.
But once again...
So we're not going to do a lot of wiggling. We're going to move it into shape and leave it into shape.
Yep. Once again, we want to keep it parentheses shaped when we make it, because it's a lot more difficult to create it if you've already formed it into a cuff.
It's kind of a C now.
Yep. So then you're going to tuck those ends in, and we're going to make it like a very proper C.
So I'm just doing a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side.
And if you get it into shape and you're like, is this the right shape? What you're going to do is you're going to try it on, and you can kind of curve those tail ends in.
It needs to be more
to your wrist shape, but do this shaping with your hands. Do not try to do any shaping with your pliers. Yeah. Be very, very careful.
Our hands are very good tools.
Yes. Sandy says, wow, that looks glamorous.
It is. I like this project because you can make it really scrappy. You can make it more on the classy side. I mean, if you wanted to, you could do a fancy one and wear it to prom or something.
Yeah, or make a tiara out of it even.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so I think it's the right shape. I'm going to try it on again.
Beautiful. Pamela says, very pretty.
Yeah, I think it's a good shape.
Robin says to Kim, praying for your safety through this crazy storm. I have family in the area, so I know.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Mary says, pretty and colorful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it just meets right there. There's about, I don't know, 3/4 an inch between there.
Awesome. So that's a pretty good fit.
It's a good size. Yeah, we did good.
Yeah. So Sandy says, very helpful tutorial. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. If you are someone who would like to try out the kit, which I'm going to drop in chat one more time for you guys. The kit comes with a label, and on the label is either a QR code or a short link. I don't remember which. But it comes with a full, like, start to finish tutorial for it. Not that you need it not that you would need it because you've been hanging out with us tonight and you're all super creative, and this is a project where you can take your own creative liberties.
Yeah.
But if you are like, oh, how am I going to find this stream again if I order the kit? What were those links that I needed to do? How did I start it? No worries. The kit does come with a link to a fully produced tutorial. So Norma says, I want to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I left my tails out here, but these are tucked in, but I kind of like it just hanging.
So
if you wanted to, you could put a charm on the end here too.
You can get totally different looks.
Oh, look at
with
this one.
Just depending on the
fiber,
color of the wire, the color of the crystals. Like this would be like blue jeans,
Yeah,
white colored shirt and pearls. Like you would stack that on top.
It's
pearls
like periwinkles.
Yeah, denim and I think we used Alexandrite on that, so it does change to a little bit more of like a purple tone in the sunlight.
Yeah.
Imagine if you used this like glittery gold color. Sorry, I was trying to bend my hand backwards.
That's okay.
So imagine if you used that with different shades of champagne and gold and added like crystal AD or like champagne or golden shadow. You could get something very, very dressy.
Look at that.
And
you can wear that to a wedding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We have seen so many different variations of these. Yeah. This is a project that we've done a couple of times over the course of our years in existence as a brick and mortar bead store. And each one has its own personality. Yeah. So we would love to see your creations if you decide to do this project. We have a Facebook group that I'm going to link for you guys.
It's called the Bead Place Facebook group.
It's real easy to find. We did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So if you are already a member of our Facebook group, vouch for us that it's a fun place to be. Let others in chat know that it's great.
I think it's a fun place to be. We're always posting new projects and ideas, and people from around the world post all kinds of really cool stuff. I'm always impressed with what people come up with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Annie asks, will the core wire harden and keep its shape? Well, Annie, the core wire is already a half hard temperament. So it is a German wire, which means that it is a wire that's designed to stay where you've bent it. So it does have a little bit of flexibility in it, but it is not like considered a craft wire per se, because it has been hardened to that temperament where it's designed to stay where you bend it. You don't have to manually harden it or anything. It'll already be hard.
I think this is one of the first examples that we made years ago, and it's still in fabulous shape.
Yeah. Yep. I've got one that I wear all the time that has like white, fluffy, almost like baby chicken type yarn in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I put like pink wire on it and a little bit of black. Actually, I think it's in the picture of that one.
Yeah.
So you can
She's pointing to the website.
Yeah.
that one.
That one.
Was it this fiber, Hank? Something kind of like it.
Yes, it was one of the kind of like baby bird ones from inside. I think it was like a combination of the pink ladder yarn in this, and then a couple of like the floofy baby bird ones.
The baby bird ones,
bird ones.
Oh my gosh, funny story. I just did cheap. My hand in the car today on our family day. Bye by NSYNC came on, and I did the bye with my hand, and we were at a stop sign, and the guy at the other end of the stop sign thought I was waving him to go on. Eric's like, stop dancing. Stop dancing.
Oh my gosh. We were driving here yesterday, and Becca's husband had already dropped her off, and he was leaving that side road, the frontage road by the interstate, and we were coming in on that turn, and he saw us. Parker was in the back seat. I was in the front seat driving, of course. And he waved to us. And Parker goes, that weird man just waved to us.
That weird man is our friend.
We know him. That was Matt. And she goes, "Oh, he looks very different from the last time I saw him." And maybe so, because I think maybe he had a beard.
He had
the last
sunglasses on,
time.
maybe?
I don't know. But that just cracked me up. And she's like, "That weird man just waved to us."
That weird man is our friend.
So Kim says, "This is a really cool project. Can I see it on your wrist?"
Yeah.
Becky, wow, let's like put them all on. Let's show
Yeah.
them off.
Cool. Does anybody have any questions?
Um,
I'll put them all on.
let's see. Cabby
Oh, what a
says,
fun stack.
I love it. Small chain or links with magnetic or some sort of clasp would be cute too. Totally. And if you make it just the right size, you can just hook a clasp into those loops that we built on the end super easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to tell you, it is a pretty hardy bracelet. Like, you don't
Yeah.
really need to work hard on it much. If you want to, go for it.
Smaller.
But that 16 gauge is going to hold pretty tight. Just a hot tip for anybody, smaller circumferences are going to create a harder
This one was made for
durability.
Abby. That one's smaller.
So because this is a tighter bend, like that smaller one is a tighter bend, technically that would be a little bit harder than a looser bend. So a tight fitting bracelet should already be harder than a slightly larger bracelet.
Science.
I gotta sneeze.
Uh-oh. Ooh, bless you.
So sorry, guys. So if you are making like a larger size bracelet and you are worried about the wearability of it, you can work hard on it a little bit with your hands before you start, but truly you don't need to, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you could. So Sue says, I've used a lobster clasp also. Yeah, great idea. Yeah. And Sandy says, and no glue.
No glue. Yeah. No, you just wind it around, and if there's an end sticking up, here's the end sticking up on this one. There we go.
Yeah, and you could just
tuck it in. There you go.
It.
Yeah.
Like, it's secure.
Yeah.
There's wire all the way around it. You could just cut it.
Yeah.
So
it's a fun project.
Totally. Yeah. So if you're local, we've got kits in store, or you can shop our yarn section. If you are not local, we have put links in the chat for you below. And yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
Do you guys like stream formats like this? We've been having a lot of fun lately, just picking some of our kits,
making stuff,
and showing you guys how to do it. It's been fun for us. Is it fun for you? Let us know.
Go home and look through my yarn scraps and do more.
Yeah, they're super fun, and they're cool to do like collars too.
Oh,
in a bigger circle like that, you might want to choose 14 gauge wire or work hard on it significantly.
I think I would put a latch on the back for that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Or you could do like a horseshoe shaped, so you've got the opening in the front, and then do like hang down.
Stuff. Oh, I've got an idea.
That would be so fun.
Can we do that on the stream tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Let's do it on the stream tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Thursdays at noon Central, we stream also. So tomorrow, maybe we'll make a neck one with something hanging down. Let's do it.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow at noon Central. Join us if you're free. We'll see you Friday night for Sundance, Inspired by Sundance.
You'll be on there, yes.
Yeah.
Lots of fun with that.
And we'll see you next
Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to message us either on Facebook, Instagram, or through the website. You can shop at beadplace.net anytime. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.